There were no tractors, no tools, and absolutely $0 to start. Farming Genius and I have just landed smack dab in the middle of no man's land, and this, my friends, is precisely where our real adventure truly begins. But we won't be staying there for too long. We'll be going from absolute zero to an empire worth millions. Vast fields, towering factories, and one singular overriding goal: to unearth every single gold nugget hidden deep within these very hills. We're going to start by selling the wood we were able to find. This will allow us to buy our first tools. First sale is done, $589, but we're not wasting any time. I'm already loading up the next batch. The goal is straightforward: to double our cash with every single run. And believe me, it adds up fast. 2 more runs, and as you can see, our strategy is working perfectly. We've made over 2,300 euros, but we immediately reinvested into a chainsaw and a trailer. Thanks to this significant investment, we can finally commence the felling of trees and transport all the lumber to the collection point to earn truly obscene amounts of money. I'm selling yet another trailer full of wood for 1,100 euros and immediately getting to work on loading up the next one. No breaks, no downtime at all. I'm selling another transport, and with the money I earn from that, I'm going to rent myself a mower. I instantly got to work mowing the grass because that job brings in some pretty good money. Our bank balance is steadily growing, but to speed things up even further, we'll alternate between mowing grass and selling the timber from felled trees. Everything's working out perfectly. While I'm busy mowing the grass, Farming Genius is skillfully felling trees. Then we switch our tasks so neither of us ever gets bored, and a steady stream of money continues to flow into our bank account. We've already significantly surpassed the 7,700 euro level. However, money doesn't stay in our account for very long, as we immediately reinvest everything we earn. Time to really pick up the pace now. It's truly high time for us to swap out that quad bike for a proper tractor. I'm selling this wood that I have on the trailer, and I'll now show you which tractors we decided to go with. 2 small John Deere tractors, plus a self-loading trailer and a mower. It might be modest, but given our budget, this is truly all that we were able to afford at this point. Remember, I'm not here by myself. Farming Genius and I have to manage our budget wisely to make sure we have enough for everything we need. We're trying to generate as much profit as possible to grow quickly. As you can clearly see, this self-loading trailer is doing some truly serious work. It brings in a substantial amount of cash in a very short time because it can hold much more grass than those Profi Hopper mowers we had rented previously. If you're eager to play on a No Man's Land equivalent in Farming Simulator 25, you'll discover a map named Not No Man's Land available on my Patreon. On my Patreon, you'll also find other maps I've made, along with thousands of mods I frequently utilize during my recording sessions. For the first 10 people who click the link below in the description of this video, there's a free 1-month package on my Patreon that includes access to everything. And for the next 20 people, a generous 15% discount on all support tiers. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if you were able to snag the free access or the 15% discount offer. I'm taking a momentary break from mowing the grass, and I'm heading straight to the lumber mill to sell a full trailer load of wood. We opted for this trailer purchase because it significantly streamlines our transportation process and allows us to generate quick income from lumber. Right after selling off the timber, I hopped into the tractor and immediately got to work collecting grass. My buddy perfectly lined up the rows of grass for me, making it super easy and quick to collect it all. It's only a moment's work, but it really pays off, especially in the early stages of the game. For every full trailer of grass sold at the sell point, we get about 3,000 euros. After the sale, I decided I really needed to equip my tractor with a mower too. A small mower, perfectly suited to the power output of my equipment. I started mowing right away. Working with 2 people definitely makes this go much faster. However, we won't be selling this grass in its raw form anymore. Our plan involves processing all of it into silage. In the near future, silage will be significantly more valuable. It's a much better option than just selling raw grass, which is what we used to do. To speed up collection, I'm putting the grass into neat rows, and right behind me, my helper is picking it up immediately. We aren't wasting a single second here. That is exactly what this video is all about: optimization through teamwork. Let me know in the comments if you prefer episodes where we're working together on a single farm, or perhaps if you'd rather see a competition between us on separate farms. I finished raking the grass into rows on one field and immediately moved to the other, freshly mown one. I really need to arrange these rows so that the self-loading trailer has to drive back and forth as little as possible. As you can see, there's always something happening here. We don't stop. To achieve our objective, we must acquire the maximum amount of silage available. The money we earn in this way will directly finance our gold mining operation. Once I've finished the rows, I'm heading off to transport a full trailer of wood directly to the sell point to earn a few extra thousand. And let me remind you, every single penny truly counts here. This wood sale brought in well over 6,000 euros to the account. It is high time that we collected all of the mown grass. I'm picking up the rows one by one, filling the self-loading trailer to the maximum. While I'm driving, do observe the background closely. Can you spot those brand new buildings? That's exactly where the extra money from the wood sale ended up. We made the decision to reinvest every single dollar into some small greenhouses and a basic silo for making silage. This silo is a truly crucial element of our plan. It's precisely where we'll be transporting all the collected grass to transform it into silage. Everything's gone smoothly so far. Once the silo was filled, we immediately moved on to the next step, which is compacting the pile. I need to compact it thoroughly so the fermentation process can finally get started. It took a little while, but we finally got to 100% compaction of the grass and covered the silo with plastic sheeting. Now the only thing left to do is simply wait for the grass to ferment fully. We headed directly to our tent on the island and promptly drifted off to sleep. After waking up, there's a lot of work waiting for us. It's a brand new day, but we're not wasting a single moment and getting right back to the field immediately. We have 6,500 euros in the bank. Overnight, leases and machine maintenance fees cost us about 2,000 euros. This time, a slight role reversal when it comes to our duties. My helper is mowing the grass up front, and I'm driving right behind him, arranging everything into nice, even rows, making it easier for us to collect later on. You can also see that some time has passed and the greenhouses have produced their first pallets of goods. That's excellent news for our budget. We'll just finish up the work in this field, and then we'll immediately move on to transporting and selling all those pallets brimming with flowers. Our little greenhouses have been working hard, producing fresh flowers for us. However, there's one drawback. I have to manually load each crate. It's quite a bit of work, but I was well prepared for it. I got a brand new trailer just for this job, and the plan's straightforward. I want to fit absolutely everything onto this single trailer. My goal is to sell it all in one trip, so I won't have to waste time driving back and forth to the store. Anything that didn't fit on the trailer, I then loaded onto the quad's rear rack. The transport is now packed to the brim, and it's time to sell. We ended up making nearly 50,000 euros on this run. This particular haul was unequivocally a complete and utter success. The greenhouses generated tens of thousands of euros in profit for us. But we're not just sitting on all that cash, we're immediately spending some of it to expand the farm. Honestly, our old mowers were simply too small for what we needed. They just weren't up to par in terms of speed and efficiency, so we decided to invest in 2 brand new machines. Ideally, we'd add a front-mounted mower to this current setup. However, let's be realistic here. We simply can't afford the larger, more powerful tractors just yet, and unfortunately, we can't attach a front mower to the ones we currently own. However, for us, that's really not an issue, so we've decided to just improvise. We operate our machines in sequence, one behind the other, ensuring that our mowing paths overlap precisely, so that not even a single blade of grass is left untrimmed. Because of our great teamwork, mowing the grass was incredibly smooth, and we successfully managed to clear a substantial area. One last pass, and then we move on to something that could change our financial situation for good. We decided to make a pretty significant investment, a rather large one. We finally purchased our very own sawmill. This facility represents a total breakthrough for our timber business. From now on, we won't be selling logs to the store. Instead, every tree we cut down will be coming right here. We're taking complete control over the timber. Rather than aiming for a quick profit, we're establishing a full production chain to truly maximize our long-term gains. I've already delivered the very first batch of wood to our brand new sawmill. We truly savored the moment with our latest investment, but now it's time to face reality once again. I need to get all this grass into the silo so it can properly begin fermenting. I'm unloading one trailer right after another, and the silo is quickly running out of space. We've almost finished transporting everything. Just one more run, and then all of the grass will be collected and transported into the silo. I'm unloading the very last trailer, and then we'll get right to compacting all this grass. After that, we'll cover it with plastic sheeting and allow it to ferment properly. As you can see, we only have about 1,000 euros left in our account, and that's precisely because we decided to invest in a sheep enclosure. Sheep eat grass, and we have an abundance of it, so this truly is a fantastic investment. We managed to get the grass in the silo 100% compacted, and now we're back to mowing. However, there is one significant problem. Fermentation takes quite a long time, and as you are well aware, we simply cannot afford to sit here, waiting around with no income coming in. That's exactly why we've relocated our entire operation to a new field next to the sawmill. We require a substantial amount of grass because we've got a plan to generate revenue immediately. To achieve this, we are investing in a completely new machine. This will enable us to process and sell the grass in a different form, without having to wait for the lengthy fermentation process. You're probably wondering what this mysterious machine is, aren't you? Make sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a like on this video, and you'll see it in action in just a moment. My next task is to meticulously prepare the rows of grass, ensuring everything is effortlessly gathered and absolutely nothing goes to waste. It's crucial for efficiency. In the meantime, my assistant headed to the store to retrieve our brand new piece of equipment. And here she is, a compact baler designed for small, square bales. While they might appear a tad comical compared to the massive round ones, truthfully, this is precisely what our current situation demands. Given its incredibly low price point, this machine truly represents an exceptional bargain. Our system is operating perfectly. I drive ahead, crafting beautiful, pristine rows of grass, and my assistant follows right after me, promptly compressing the loose grass into compact bales, all set for sale. Now that I've finished raking all the grass and the field is completely full of small bales, it's time for me to jump into action. I have to gather up each and every bale and then manually load it onto the trailer. It may appear to involve a significant amount of manual labor, but truthfully, it's quite a gratifying task since these square bales are both compact and lightweight. And with these bales, I can move around incredibly swiftly. Clearing this whole area definitely won't take much time at all. I'm running around gathering all these bales onto the trailer to convert all of this into a rather substantial profit in a short amount of time. Just a little bit more work and a really nice bonus will appear in our account. I drove to the selling point and sold the collected bales for over 2,000 euros. We have just one more thing to cross off our list before we can officially say that our work here for today is done. It's time to create our very first field on this farm. This will finally grant us the freedom to plant absolutely anything we truly desire. For this particular task, we opted for 2 compact plows. They may be small in stature, but they're absolutely ideal for the horsepower our tractors provide. The strategy is simple. We're splitting the work area in half. I'll take one side, and my helper will take the other. This way, the work goes quickly and we don't get in each other's way. This is going to be our very last task for today before we head off to bed, but make sure to stay with us to discover what comes next and when we'll finally begin our gold mining operations. Once the field was completely established, we headed directly to our tent for a well-deserved rest and went straight to sleep. We're kicking off a brand new day with the absolute best part of this job. We get to see what we've successfully produced throughout the night. I got right to work loading up the pallets that our greenhouses had produced, and I'll be heading out to sell them in just a moment. And simultaneously my assistant was loading pallets from the sawmill, then went off to sell them. A massive 70,000 euros landed in our account solely from the sale of the sawmill's products. And together with my sale, we're starting the morning with almost 90,000 euros. Actually, we would have had even more money, but my helper did not just sit around and wait. He went out shopping while I was busy selling the pallets. He went and leased a spanking new tractor, along with a powerful seeder to match. But truly, the most awesome thing about this machine is the way we're able to use it together. It's specifically designed for exactly 2 people. One drives the tractor in the front, and the other rides on the seeder in the back. Alright, enough fun and games. We've got serious work ahead of us. I'm climbing into the tractor, plow and tow, and my task is to meticulously outline the perimeters of this brand new field. We're planning to plant some potatoes here today, and this spot really seems quite perfect for them. As I was marking out the exact dimensions of this field, I came to a very important realization. Observing the vastness of the designated area, I instantly understood that I would require a new, much larger tractor. I simply cannot imagine plowing such an enormous area all by myself with this tiny plow. It would seriously take me forever to do, and honestly, it would just be an absolute nightmare. But hey, do you recall that morning cash injection? That money grants me the freedom to simplify my life. So, I decided to invest in a powerful new tractor, equipped with a much wider cultivator, in order to really speed up the whole process. Each step forward brings me closer to my ultimate objective, which is extracting gold. I didn't waste a second. Right after picking up the new equipment, I drove straight to the designated area to finish creating the field. Now that the new field is all prepared and ready, it's time for the main event, planting the potatoes. But there's a catch. Real large-scale potato machinery is incredibly expensive, and even with our current earnings, top-tier equipment is completely out of our reach, so we'll have to start off a bit more modestly. This small planter will do for now. It's actually quite decent, but let's be realistic. With such a narrow working width, covering this entire field is going to be a very long, drawn-out battle. Still, one has to start somewhere, don't you think? After all that hard work with the potatoes, it's time for a welcome change of pace. Now we're transitioning to something a little bit lighter and, quite frankly, much more satisfying. Meanwhile, as I toiled away planting potatoes, my diligent helper was hard at work, expertly mowing an entire field of grass. Now someone has to clean up this mess, and that someone is me. My task is to gather all this scattered grass into neat, even rows. But honestly, I'm truly not concerned about the time at all. With this giant rake on the back, I'm covering a huge area with every pass. Thanks to this, both fields will be taken care of quickly and without any problems. While I was busy focusing on creating those perfectly straight rows, my helper was right behind me, hot on my trail with the baler, and honestly, I have to admit, it truly looks fantastic. The field is dotted with bales. Now for the crucial step, wrapping. We're turning the grass into silage, which sells for a much higher price than raw grass. But the real breakthrough, the game changer, is efficiency. Remember that small silo we picked up previously? With this amazing method, we don't even need that thing at all. No more endlessly driving back and forth for hours just to compact that huge pile. I simply leave the wrapped bales out in the field and then await for the fermentation process to occur. It's faster, easier, and completely headache-free. And of course, we must not forget about the forestry work either. This is the backbone of our budget. You witnessed firsthand how much cash it generated for us this very morning. This thing is literally a money printing machine. However, there's just one crucial rule. If we ever hope to get another big payout like that, we absolutely cannot let it run empty. So, we're heading straight into the forest. We need to cut down more trees and replenish our wood supplies as quickly as possible to ensure the production chain doesn't come to a halt. I'm felling one tree after another and loading them directly onto the trailer to transport everything to the sawmill. Our storage facilities must be kept full, otherwise production won't be as efficient as it could be. And finally, we are nearing the finish line of this marathon. Just one more field remains to be planted to officially wrap up today's work. Honestly, I'm completely worn out, but I'm determined to end this day on a really strong note. I have to finish planting before I go to sleep so the crops can start growing right away. Last row is done, and the field is planted. That's it. I'm parking the tractor in the garage and getting some well-deserved rest. We're kicking off this new day with a monumental logistics operation. While I was still sound asleep, my assistant made a rather audacious move and purchased the local biogas plant. We've got a definite strategy for this morning. I'm transporting all the fermented silage bales directly to our recently acquired plant. The top priority is to fill the biogas plant completely, ensuring it operates without any interruptions. However, considering the sheer quantity of bales we currently possess, I highly doubt they will all fit inside. However, that's not a problem at all. I'll just take the bales that don't fit directly to the selling point, and I'll make a pretty substantial amount of money from them. I sold the remaining bales and almost 19,000 euros landed in our account. The next step involved selling all our produced pallets, resulting in a deposit of 125,000 euros into our account. We also invested in our very first grain harvester and promptly commenced the harvest. Additionally, I even rented a truly massive potato harvester. I won't conceal it, this investment was incredibly massive, but there's definitely a well thought out plan underpinning it all. We're not selling these potatoes to the store for pennies, we have a much better idea. Our entire harvest is going to our biogas plant. Potatoes are just excellent for fermentation. This strategy will generate huge profits, and I'm convinced this expensive machine will pay for itself in no time. I can't keep doing the same thing over and over, so it's time for a change. My helper is taking over the potato harvester. He's taking one for the team. I can only wish him the best of luck with that grueling work. As for me, I'm getting into the grain harvester, and my mission is straightforward. I'm picking up where my buddy left off and finishing the harvest on this field. I make sure that every single grain makes its way into the tank, ensuring no spot is missed, and then I proceed to unload it directly onto the trailer. A very simple and enjoyable job. As I was pulling up to unload the harvester, there was a little fender bender, but luckily no harm done. I immediately drove to the sell point and sold the harvested grain for almost 6,000 euros. The current account balance is 13,500 euros, and I'm going back to my favorite activity, mowing grass. I have to mow a quite substantial area, and to be perfectly honest with you, it's been some time since I've done this, and I had almost forgotten just how pleasant it truly feels. There's no complex strategy involved. I simply drive forward, watching the grass vanish, row by glorious row. It's oddly satisfying and quite calming, you know. While I was busy mowing the grass, my helper was out there tedding it, making sure it dried perfectly into hay. But of course, we absolutely cannot leave this hay scattered around like this. Baling it would turn into a complete nightmare, and we simply can't afford to waste even a single blade of it. Why? Because we're facing pressure from two sides. Firstly, our balance is dwindling, and we urgently need cash. Secondly, and perhaps even more importantly, we have hungry mouths to feed. Some of these bales are going straight to our cows because in the meantime, we invested in a cow barn. We have to provide them with food now. Only after the animals have something to eat will we sell the rest to patch up the budget. I'm raking the grass into perfect rows and my helper is making the bales. Bale production has finished and now the field is completely dotted with fresh bales, eagerly awaiting the cleanup crew, which happens to be me. We're sticking to the plan I mentioned. Our cattle are the priority. The first bales are going straight to the barn so the cows have something to eat. Looking at how much we've collected, we've easily got enough for everything. Once our animals have been properly fed and are content, any remaining bales will be transported directly to the selling point. We'll make sure to feed the cows, and then in turn we'll certainly feed our bank account. The work is done, so it's time for some well-deserved rest. We're going to bed now. A new day has dawned, and we're getting straight to mission number 1, fix the bank balance. While we were sleeping, the biogas plant produced some electricity and already earned us several tens of thousands. And right now, I'm driving all over the farm, gathering every single item that was produced during the night. I really have to admit the production was just incredible. Look at all this stuff, it's truly amazing how much there is. My trailer is filling up in the blink of an eye. There are tons of products, so the profit is going to be huge. In fact, just see for yourselves. We earned more than 90,000 euros from that particular trailer. I'm delivering silage to the biogas plant and then heading straight to the shop to buy a roller. It cost 17,000 euros and today is a very big day for us. We're finally raising the funds needed to kick off our gold production. But hold on a second. We're not jumping to gold production just yet. First, we need to do our fieldwork and get some things done. I won't beat around the bush. Today's tasks are quite mundane. It's just simple, repetitive fieldwork, but you need to see the bigger picture. All this hard work is a necessary step toward our final goal. We have to finish this to finally unlock gold production. However, before I proceed further, I must make a brief detour. I desperately need to rectify this potato field's condition. Honestly, its current appearance is driving me absolutely insane. It turned out so incredibly uneven. I just cannot stand looking at it. And at long last, we've finally arrived at the moment that we've been striving for since the very first day. We are initiating gold extraction now. However, for the time being, do not anticipate a visually impressive mine. We're simply collecting all the soil and stones that could potentially contain gold. As you can see, we don't have any specialized equipment for this task. Our tractors are acting as front loaders, and we're hauling all of it with just a regular trailer directly to the factory. This is how we're beginning, yet this very soil is our ticket to a fortune. Additionally, we had to ensure water was delivered to the factory so it could commence production. However, we simply cannot get too caught up in this gold rush. It's time to get back to reality and reconnect with our roots, which is the forest. We must never, ever forget the fundamental principles that brought us to this point. The sawmill is the very foundation of our farm, but it certainly does have its requirements. It needs a constant supply of raw material, so I'm heading right back to the forest, and my task is to deliver a fresh new batch of wood, making sure that the production line never, ever grinds to a halt. Unfortunately, we had to alter our plans slightly this time, as our account balance had plummeted below zero. Consequently, I was forced to sell this lumber in its raw state at the collection point. I'm climbing into the tractor to create some additional bales. While it may not be the large-scale production it once was, each and every bale still holds significance. This is literally free money just lying on the ground. Why in the world would I ever leave it there? Once the very last bale is completed, I'll switch my focus and begin loading up the trailer with stones. I have to maintain a constant supply of raw material. It's the heart of our gold factory. We're topping up the production line with as many stones as we can fit. The more material we process and put through, the closer we get to securing that very first gleaming gold bar. A few full trailers of stones and gravel delivered directly to our factory, and I believe that will be sufficient for the time being. While I was busy hauling stones over to the gold factory, my helper was occupied with wrapping up even more bales. And now, someone needs to gather them up. Someone has to undertake this task, and as usual, I am the fortunate soul who gets to do it. However, with these bales, things will be a little different from the norm, as they haven't fermented yet. So for the time being, I'll simply place them right next to the factory, and then, once they've fermented properly, I'll toss them straight into the biogas plant. This will ensure the plant has a constant fuel supply readily available. The generator keeps running endlessly, essentially printing money for us, even when we're occupied elsewhere. We still have one more very important task to accomplish today before we finally turn in for the night. We absolutely need to create a new field. I'm already driving the cultivator, marking the perimeter of this new, truly gigantic field, gigantic by our standards, that is. My helper is already on his way here and will be assisting me with this challenge very soon. The plan is very simple. Divide and conquer. We're splitting the area in half. He takes his half and I take mine. Then we get straight to work. Looking back at everything we accomplished today, it truly feels as if we crammed an entire week's worth of work into this single day. Just consider this. We've successfully managed the entire grass and silage operation today. We made sure the cows were fed and we kept the sawmill operating at full capacity. We survived the potato harvest and even expanded our territory with new fields. But most importantly, we laid the foundation for the future. The biogas plant is running. The initial major shipment to the gold facility has been completed, and the infrastructure is now finally established. It truly was an absolute grind, but we're finally ready to kick back and get some well-deserved rest. Tomorrow we'll be transforming these stones and gravel into pure gold. We've just finished setting up this field, and now we're off to bed. A new day has dawned, and we've got a tremendous amount of work ahead of us. Before we check on how our gold factory is doing, we have some regular everyday chores to take care of. We're kicking off the day with the wheat harvest, and as you can see, our teamwork is absolutely stellar today. My helper is cutting the wheat with the combine, and I'm following right behind, immediately turning all that ejected straw into bales. We're not wasting even a single second. This straw is an extra bonus for our payout. We collect every single piece of it to maximize our profit. It's time to shuffle the cards a little. We're swapping places for the next field. I'm getting behind the wheel of the combine. My job is to set the pace and make sure the header keeps moving forward. And if you look into the background, my assistant there has his hands completely full. He's dealing with the straw from the combine, but he's also in charge of logistics. When my tank is completely full, he absolutely must pull up with the trailer immediately and unload me, so I don't have to stop working. It's a big responsibility, but it means the harvest can continue without any downtime. The harvest is finally complete, and the trailers are loaded to the brim. Now it's time to head to the shop and liquidate everything we've got. We are selling every single grain of wheat and every single bale of straw that we've produced. But honestly, the harvest is just a bonus today, because the moment we've all been waiting for has arrived. For the first time ever, we're going to sell our very own self-produced gold bars. My assistant just finished loading the freshly produced gold bars straight off the production line. He's bringing them over here to sell along with all the other goods. The sight of those gleaming bars all loaded up on the trailer is simply unreal to behold. We're selling everything to find out if this golden business is as profitable as we had initially envisioned. For those few bars we sold, we made over 110,000 euros. That's a pretty nice sum. Now that our account balance looks much healthier, the pressure is off. I could go back to the field and finish cleaning up. There were 5 bales of straw waiting for me. I truly didn't want to let them go to waste. Sure, they're not gold bars, but that straw was pure profit just waiting for me to collect it. That's always an extra few thousand. And remember, around here, every single dollar truly counts. The influx of cash from selling the gold only confirmed one crucial thing. We absolutely must keep this factory running at 100% capacity, operating at maximum efficiency at all times. So, we're immediately doubling down on our efforts. My assistant loads the stones onto the trailer, and I'm responsible for transporting these very stones straight to the gold factory. This method is working for now, but let's be honest, we can't keep doing this indefinitely. We really need to consider getting better equipment. My ultimate goal is to set this up so that a single person can manage the entire cycle completely independently. That would save our farm a tremendous amount of time. After just 2 rapid trips, the gold factory is completely stocked and operating at its absolute maximum capacity. We've got the green light to proceed, we've earned ourselves some good money, so I decided to treat myself to a much needed and proper upgrade. A powerful tractor and a really fast baler to accompany it. Thanks to these, the work in the field is progressing much more quickly. And if that wasn't enough for you, my helper also got himself an equipment upgrade. He bought a wide mower that automatically creates windrows, so we don't need to make an extra pass with a rake anymore. And this baler is a real beast. It truly allows me to work without any interruptions whatsoever. I no longer have to stop and constantly wait for a bale to be dropped. This new equipment is absolutely fantastic, but it definitely left a significant dent in our finances. I then gathered all the other recent produce from our farm and immediately headed to the sales point to sell them all off. For all that, over 130,000 euros landed in our account. We genuinely require a substantial amount of capital to sustain our current rate of expansion and development. Now I must return to the field and gather all the bales that our brand new baler has just produced. But this particular batch is not for sale, it's going directly to our sheep. And in the meantime, my helper made a truly huge investment and bought them a spacious brand new barn. They finally have a solid roof over their heads. It's good to see well cared for animals. This is exactly what a real farm should look like. Now it's time to move on to the less exciting part of the day. It's time for seeding. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, this is definitely not my favorite activity to do. But let's be realistic, somebody has to do the dirty work. You won't get any harvest without planting the seeds in the ground first. Meanwhile, my helper is also engaged in similar tasks, and truthfully, it's precisely this collaborative effort that keeps everything running so effectively. Without this teamwork, the farm just wouldn't function and there'd be no profits. But even the most mundane tasks can be made more interesting if one has a bit of resourcefulness. My helper is controlling the front, and I just decided to hitch myself to the back. I'm literally hanging off the railing and supervising the seeder up close. It truly looks comical on camera, and honestly, I much prefer this over having to walk, even though it's getting a tad dusty back here. This small detail ensured the job passed without a single dull moment. We managed to seed the entire field completely, and then headed off for a well-deserved rest. We're kicking off a brand new day with some serious solid mowing action. And just look at this incredible upgrade. My trusty helper went out shopping and brought back an absolute beast of a machine, a brand new John Deere. He outfitted it with a powerful front and rear mower combination. This entire new setup was financed through the successful sales of products from our factories and greenhouses. We're reinvesting everything directly back into the business. We're truly approaching the point of becoming a fully self-sufficient empire. The grass is mown, so now it's time to dry it. My helper is out there with the tedder, getting it ready, and my task is to take all this scattered chaos and line it up in tidy rows. For this massive amount of grass, that old equipment just wouldn't have been enough, so I rolled out the heavy artillery. This new windrower is an absolute monster. It's likely one of the broadest machines available on the market today. The working width is truly incredible. It means fewer passes, less turning around, and massive rows, which are absolutely perfect for the baler. Now that all the rows are perfectly lined up, it's time to collect everything. And I have to say it again, this new baler is a total game changer. It works flawlessly. Now that the baling is complete, we're left with a vast field brimming with fresh produce, all just waiting to be harvested. Just like the last harvest, we're not selling even a single bale of this crop. We're holding onto the entire lot right here on the farm, as it's absolutely vital for feeding our livestock. I'm loading up a full trailer and taking it straight to the barn. This hay is the foundation of the cow's diet, and we need to keep the troughs full if we want to maintain high milk production. It's a quick trip from the field directly to the trough, because happy cows mean profit for the farm. This delivery is an absolute top priority for us, and now we get to transition to what I consider my absolute favorite task here on this farm. It's time to feed the beast once more, and by beast, I'm referring to our golden factory. I'm loading up another trailer, this time with a substantial mix of rocks and dirt. I'm really hoping this batch holds as many hidden treasures as the last one did, but honestly, knowing the profits we're making, we're definitely starting to think on a much larger scale. We are seriously considering building an additional factory right here to effectively double our current throughput capacity. We understand that the gold in this ground won't last forever. Our strategy is to maximize profits and extract every single ounce of gold from this land before the resource is completely depleted. Alright, back to the field, because this wheat isn't going to harvest itself. I see the combine harvester standing there with its extended auger and hazard lights flashing brightly. That's a clear signal for everyone involved. The tank is absolutely full to the brim. Step 1 is pretty straightforward. I just pull up with the trailer and empty out the harvester's tank. This trailer is completely full, I can't fit anything else on it, so I'm heading directly to the shop to sell all the wheat we've managed to gather. A fully loaded trailer of wheat is worth a whopping $10,000. This field is quite expansive, and our harvester has a rather small tank, requiring it to be emptied out constantly. In the future, we'll definitely need to consider getting a new harvester to streamline the work in the field. The tank is full again, so I'm running to the tractor with the trailer to unload the harvester. Just look at that shimmering stream of golden grain. It's a truly satisfying sight to behold. That's pure cash flowing straight into our trailer. My helper decided to drive right alongside the combine, offloading everything continuously as we went along. That way we were able to finish the harvest incredibly quickly and could then move on to our final task for the day. The ideal task to conclude the day is to create a new, truly gigantic field, one that will be even larger than all the fields we've managed to cultivate up until this point. If you're still watching at this very moment, please write in the comments that you've stuck around all the way until the 29th minute. Also, it would be wonderful if you could let me know in the comments which country you're watching from, what language you're viewing in, and whether this dubbing sounds good to you. The original language of this video is Polish, and all other parts are translations, so I sincerely apologize for any potential errors that may have occurred. I truly hope everything turned out perfectly. It honestly feels like we've managed to accomplish a whole week's worth of work in just one day. Just consider all that we've managed to accomplish. We've kept that gold factory running smoothly, we've hauled in tons of rocks, and absolutely crushed the wheat harvest. We successfully sold our very first gold bars. It was truly a momentous occasion for the farm, and we certainly didn't just hide that money away. We reinvested immediately in that John Deere, acquiring new mowers and a fast baler, and this is truly just the start because we're really just getting warmed up.